What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 22nd day of October today, and here we are sitting at about $2.38, 9 hours, 26 minutes left in the day. We're down a little bit less than 2% on the day, and that's not too bad at all. It's possible that we do go lower, but I do assume that this is the low, and that if we do go lower, it will only be a higher low that we find, not a lower low. Anything's possible, and if we do see a lower low, do not fret, do not panic. It's fine. We can go down here. There's reasons to go down here and find support down here that are acceptable and congruent with XRP still moving higher afterwards. Okay, it's okay if XRP takes out this low. I just don't think that it will. All right. Again, I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't think XRP takes out this low. So if that happens, that does not mean that XRP is forsaken and that it's going to zero, right? I'm not the arbiter of all things that are good and bad. Just because I don't think it's going below that low doesn't mean that if it does, that it's dead. It will likely find support just below the low, and then we will continue to rally, okay? Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame here. $2.38 right now. You had a little stab down, didn't you? And you're having a nice reaction so far. You know, half this candle, I should say at least a third of this candle looks to be a wick. 25 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. Let's see how it goes. If you come back up, that's nice to see. Hopefully you do come back up and leave a wick behind whenever you close this this candle here. If not, you truly might go lower. Let's see. Looking at this on a low, from a low to a high on the RSI, you have gone below the 382. You know, with this kind of reaction, I typically would expect that we go to the golden ratio. So let's just anticipate that $2.30, $2.32 is a possible outcome. Not lower than this low, but something a little lower than where we are now. That might be what we see. The RSI rejecting the 50, looking bearish overall. Makes sense that we'd go lower. Stochastic's doing the same, and the MACD is doing the same as well. Actually building some bullish divergence, to be fair. So come down a little bit more. That's fine, yeah. You don't have to go all the way to 232 or 230, but I would assume that that's where we go, probably right there in that golden ratio zone. Find support at prior support, prior turbulence, prior support back here, somewhere in this zone between 232 and 230. That would be what I expect. We probably see that happen today, probably over the coming hours by the time most of you watch this, so that'd be my expectation. Looking at this on a 4 hour time frame, we definitely want to hold that area of support, right? We want to hold that area of support because overall you have this kind of M-shaped pattern right here, and if you find support here and you revert back up, that would invalidate the M. That would likely suggest that we're breaking out higher, breaking out of this trend. But if not, if the M holds true, you will undoubtedly go below this low. And again, nothing crazy, but something just below it is probably what would be in store there. So we want to find support at the golden ratio. Again, that's at 230 to 232 right there, okay? That's what we want to do. Looking at the 4 hour indicators, the RSI, overall it looks pretty good. You know, to be fair, the 4 hour time frame kind of contests the 1 hour time frame, because where you are here is actually a really good area to find support. It's actually a really good area to find support. And you've got this higher low, higher high kind of trend right here overall. You're at the base of this trend. I don't know. Yes, you got overbought, but typically I look for a little bit more than that whenever we break out of these upwards trends. Huh. What's the stochastics look like? Stochastics are actually right at a point to bounce as well. The stochastics and the RSI, they're both at a point to bounce. So again, with this 4 hour time frame, we have an hour and 22 minutes left. You know, if we close here, we close a little bit lower, I think that's fine. But over the coming hours, you know, for the next 4 hour candle, we could make a stab down still to that 232, 230 area, and then by the end of the 4 hour candle, come back up and close green. I don't know. The 4 hour time frame really is making me second guess the thought of going lower. It just, to me, looking at this here for what it's worth, and this is really not the most significant fib from a low to a high. Typically, in this kind of situation, you would go to the golden ratio. Typically. That doesn't mean that you have to, though. Let's look, maybe we have to look a little bit further out. We'll come back to the 4 hour time frame, but I just want to look, let's look at this low from April 7th to the high here. You tipped the golden ratio right there, man. I mean, this isn't really conducive to find support anywhere that you are right now, but I do like that as a low. I really do like that as a low. Low to high here, let's just see. And you're right at the golden ratio right here, holding it actually. That's kind of a nice look there. I don't know. Tell you what, if this 4 hour candle closes and we're closing here at 230, let's say 239 or higher, then you might not have to go lower. You might be absolved of going lower. But if you do go lower, it's okay. And again, when I say lower, I'm not expecting that we go below this low. I'm just expecting a little bit lower. But really, this 4 hour time frame The stochastics and the RSI, they make me a little bit bullish here, I have to admit. The MACD even, you're actually at a really good place to bounce on the MACD too. Even if the next candle closes green, the MACD is lagging, so you probably come down and you'll scoop that zero perfectly. I don't know. Regardless, I mean, you're at 238. Let's say you drop to 230. You're really close already. You're very close to that low point as it is, right? But you don't have to go down there. If anybody's confused as to what I'm trying to say that either you will bounce here or you will go down first a little bit and then you will bounce here. But I'm very confident looking at the 4-hour time frame that you do not take out this low, that you probably do move higher soon enough. Tomorrow and the coming days should be bullish. That's what I'm gathering here, okay? Daily time frame. RSI, bullish divergence, right? We have higher lows there, lower lows in the price. You saw that move play out already. Let's come up with any kind of argument that might be had for going lower. Would I take this high to this low? It's just such weird price action. I don't know. Maybe I should take this high and put it at this low. I don't know. I mean, with this, it looks like you're at a really good point to bounce as well, to be fair. I just don't know how confident I feel taking these fibs here, especially with this scam wick in the way, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe we can take this high to low. Let's do this one. Let's do this high to low. Bump it back down to the 4-hour. Yeah, we're going back and forth, man. I could really see us finding support right here or going a little bit lower and then finding support. It's really not a big deal either way. So regardless of what happens, as long as we're above like $2.29, $2.30, I think that we're fine. We're probably not going below that low. But if we start closing 4-hour candles or a daily time frame below $2.30, I'd be worried that we do close below this low, that we do see prices below that low. And I say worried, but it wouldn't be too bad, right? $2.10, $2.15, 5 cents, something above $2 yet below 220 is likely what would be in store if we take out that low. Nothing crazy. Whenever it is time to move higher, which should be soon enough, because every time we've found support for XRP has been at this oversold zone, let alone getting inside of it. This is the weakest readings that we've seen in the RSI since July of 2024. Typically, this is the point at which we turn around. It's been a long time since we've been overbought. I think that we're on our way there. We might be on our way there even by the end of the month. I mean, the end of the month is right here. This is the first day of November right there, right? We could get into the overbought zone by the end of the month. We really could see some fireworks fly in that time. I am anticipating that XRP between now and the 29th of October, if not the end of this month, will be back at about $3 because the FOMC meeting, typically we do rally going into those FOMC meetings. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something that ate back most of this drop, got us above this point here. You know, we're breaking out. We're either at least something that's around like 280, if not at most something around like $3.10, probably right in the middle there at $3. That's where we're going to be by the end of this month. That's the expectation that I have here. MACD has bullish divergence, which is yet to really play out. The stochastics look bullish, and they suggest that we're going to continue moving higher. I think day by day, man, we're going to move higher. It's the 22nd now. We've got another week until the FOMC announcement. I would assume that we do casually move higher over those days. Does that mean that every day is going to be green? No, we can have red days, but typically or generally, I would expect that we do see prices that are likely above 264, likely even above 280 by the time we see the FOMC announcement on the 29th there. Looking at the weekly time frame, zooming out a little bit more. The weekly RSI does have a low that we haven't seen. We're actually in a low reading area that we haven't seen really since July of 2024 as well. Man, low levels in the RSI on the daily time frame, low levels on the RSI on the weekly time frame since July of 2024. That tells you something there, I think, right? Bouncing off the 40. If this week can close green, we're bouncing off the 40, and typically when you bounce off the 40, you get weeks of upside at least, if not more, right? I really do think that we're at a low point here for XRP. So regardless if we drop 5 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents, whatever, or not, I do expect that over the weeks to come, we're going to be seeing some positive price action. Stochastics had an area to bounce here at the 50. We have bounced here before a couple of times, more than a couple of times even, finding resistance and finding support at this area. So it makes sense that we do here as well, especially being at a low point. We do have not bullish divergence on the MACD. No, but it's not bearish overall. I mean, yes, this is a very deep reading in the histogram, but it's not bearish overall. Overall, it is bullish. I mean, I don't really know what to make out of this one here, to be completely fair. If anything, I would think that we continue to move down until the MACD, until the oscillators find support at the zero, something like that. But we don't have to do that. I'm not really getting a whole lot off of this weekly MACD. All that it's telling me is that we could go lower, right? But we're getting signs of reversal or signs of bouncing from all the other indicators. So I think that I would stick with the other indicators on that one. Overall, we're anticipating that XRP does break out of this zone here. It breaks out of this massive consolidation phase that you've been in since December of last year. We're going to break out of that soon and break out to the upside. The expectation is that we see prices all the way up at about $13 or more, $13.56 or more, right? Something that lines up appropriately with this 1414 area here. Typically with the 1414, you don't stop right at it. You do wick a little bit above it, and then you come back below to close. So just expect that. I would think anything above 1357 is probably a good selling place. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I do believe XRP goes dramatically higher than that by the end of the cycle. I believe that we will see a $40 to $70 price for XRP. So if you don't want to sell there, just wait. You'll probably have higher prices to go. But I really do think that if you sold, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, if I was holding XRP and I sold here, I bet that it works out for you well. And then you probably have a nice time to reallocate your funds and catch that recovery. Looking at the monthly time frame here, looking at these indicators, because we don't normally do this actually. The MACD is positive overall. It's actually very positive overall. Yeah. We had bearish divergence, but that move already played out, I think. The stochastics rejecting the overbought zone. We don't like that, but sometimes that happens, and that's okay. And the RSI overall has cooled off a lot. We do have lower lows in the RSI with higher lows in the price, so that is hidden bullish divergence as well. Overall, very bullishly postured RSI and stochastics and MACD. I think that we have more to go, and we're going to see that soon enough. I don't have anything else that I want to say. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.